Hello, everyone out there. This is the People's Choice for United States Senate of North Dakota, Michael J. Steele in Fargo. I'm very upset right now. This Reed O'Connor from the 5th Federal Appeals Court just decided on his own agenda to get rid of the Affordable Care Act, also known as Obamacare. I've worked tirelessly with a team of dedicated professionals to knock on doors, blog, get on television, do everything we could to get the Affordable Care Act, And this guy, by a stroke of a pen, decides that he's going to eliminate the Affordable Care Act. I'd like everybody right now to call this man or send him letters. This Reed O'Connor, 5th Circuit Federal Court of Appeals in Texas. Write this guy and tell him that we don't want to lose our health care. We're not going to be denied, and we will fight to the last breath of air and left in our bodies. Too many people. There's 138 million Americans that are going to be affected by this guy's decision, which I'm sure is going to be appealed and fought in court, and it's probably going to go to the Supreme Court. Hopefully not. Hopefully it'll just get overturned soon, or it'll just get thrown out on the merits. But I'm sure this guy was paid off by Trump and his cronies or some Republicans. It's real funny they did it right at the time that people could sign up again for the Affordable Care Act here. This is just I'm just disgusted. Why don't we take his health care away? I'm sure this judge has finest health care in America. Let's take his health care away, and let's fire him or get rid of him by voting him out next time he's up for election, or make enough complaints to Congress to just have him watch this guy and get rid of him. There's too many judges that are making decisions that are affecting the lives of millions of people, and they seem like they have no concern whatsoever for the people that are disabled, the poor, the elderly that need this Affordable Care Act, working families that need it. I know it's not the greatest system, but it's a start. Many people, especially the Republican Party, were against Social Security, a system that's protected the disabled and the handicapped, the elderly, and our poor people with learning disabilities for many years. It turned out to be a safety net for people, not an entitlement, because people pay into Social Security. There's millions of people that paid into Social Security throughout their whole lives that died in wars that'll never see a penny of that. Plus, the head of Social Security said himself that there's over $40 billion that's being paid in by the illegal aliens that are working in this country right now, who will never be able to collect. When they try to retire, they won't get it. They'll have to go back to their country to get any kind of entitlement program that they think is an entitlement, which it's not. Them, it's something they paid into. Right now, the statistics say America's birth rate's been on the decline for 40 years. I believe it. There's 320 million Americans right now, and there's 1.4 people living in India. We're declining. We need people to come here and work. We should have open doors to do jobs. There's jobs here in Fargo where I live. They got billboards claiming there's 18,000 jobs open in Fargo right now. They don't have enough qualified people to come here and work in Fargo, North Dakota. So if you're out of a job and you need work, come to Fargo. Go to work, But I'm just so mad. All the years and effort we worked and knocked on doors, blogged to get the affordable health care passed. FDR had a plan right before he passed away where every American was going to get free health care. It was called his bill. He had a Bill of Rights where you'd get free education and free health care. Why can't the richest nation on the planet offer its people a college education right now? Not everybody wants to go to college. They just don't want to do it. They're tired of sitting behind a desk for 12 years up till high school. They want to go out and work and be productive citizens and earn a living and support their families and themselves. A lot of these people I know are younger families that have children. They have children, and they have to support them, so they have to go to work. They can't afford college. I know that. College is a burden and a struggle for them. I went to college too, and it's a burden and it's a struggle, But it did give me an education to learn that I know that some of us here in America are getting crapped on, and we have to stand up for our rights and fight to the last fiber of our being for our health care, which we did with President Obama. Obamacare saved my life. That's the reason I'm fighting for it. I fought to get health care, and also health care did save my life. And then you got this judge, Wackoville, that's getting a bribe from probably Trump or the Republicans. Oh, in North Carolina, I heard they're denying people the right to vote throughout all of North Carolina. They're not allowing them to vote this last election. Isn't that just really nice of the Republican Party for blocking and gerrymandering? I mean, what's wrong with these people? I care about people over profits. These people are bought off by the big corporations. I work for the people. When you hire me as your senator of North Dakota, I will work for your interests, not the corporation's interest. And corporate welfare is the biggest welfare in the world, and they're worried about some poor person having health care, or maybe going to college. Some poor kid might be a little smarter than them, or do a little better than they are. All these people that are born with a silver spoon up their ass. So you better vote for me if you know what's good for you. I am a man of the people, but I'm upset. They're trying to take away our health care right now. America better wake up. We're mad as hell, and we're not going to take it, and we should let them know that. And I hope people send this judge letters, this Ralph O'Connor in the Fifth Circuit Appeals Court there in Texas. Write him letters, send him thousands, millions of letters. Just inundate his whole post office, his whole office with letters about how shitty he is for taking away our health care. This man, in the old days, they would take him out and tar and feather him. That's what they used to do. The real Americans that were patriots. I'm talking, let's start tar and feathering these bastards if they're going to take away our rights and our health care. That's what the heck's wrong with these nut jobs. I have to stand up now again for this and fight. Here I am. Another fight's coming, and we have to fight like hell. Might is right, and we're right because we have the might. So, power to the people. Let's get out there and let's stand up. And anything else that upsets me in the news? Well, this is a big one right now. They're trying to take away our health care. I'm up here freezing in the cold, vast plains of the frozen wasteland of North Dakota right now. And I'm trying to be the next senator here, but I need your donations also. Could you go to my GoFundMe page and go to my Act Blue page and just donate $1? If I can get 3-4 million people out there, I'm a contender, I started my campaign about a month ago because I see so many people that are even homeless living here in North Dakota. The shelters here denied 1,800 people in one little town in Minnesota, which is right across the border from where I live. But it helps through our Fargo community also. But, some of these resources here are supposedly been, they've been used up, and they're turning down. People are freezing to death, dying outside in the middle of winter right here in North Dakota. And then you got all these Native American women throughout the Dakotas and Montana that are getting killed and dying, and nobody's investigating, doing anything about it. I'm going to do something about it. I'm going to investigate. I'm going to find out where these people are going. There's just so many things right now that we have to wake up for, and we have to wake up and stand up to these corrupt bastards that are trying to destroy our country. They're trying to destroy the American people. It's almost like they want to replace us. And here's one for you didn't know about. Donald Trump right now just made a big multi-billion-dollar deal with the Russians to sell them asbestos. It's even got his picture on the label from one of his corporations. It's got his Trump picture, with his Cheeto head and his Cheeto hair. The Cheeto Trump. They're all out there just cheering him on for all that asbestos in Russia. Let's give the Russians asbestos. So, yeah, he got his man at the EPA to allow sales of asbestos again to all these workers and all these people around the country so they could die. So he's going to go ahead and let's kill off some more people with mesothelioma, But, yeah, I'm just so upset. I'm probably going a mile a minute right now, but I'm a man of the people. I need your vote. I need your support. I'm looking at this camera. I'm trying to look you right in the eyes, but it seems like this camera is weird because it won't let me look straight ahead. And it's really kind of upsetting me, here in the vast frozen wasteland that I live in North Dakota, but I'm a man of the people. I'm going to be there. I'm going to be taking action. I am a political activist, I don't know, you got your John Hovens, they peek their head around the corner and pop out every now and then like a little mouse and then say something real nice and sweet, and then they pop their head back in their little mouse den they have. And, I don't do that. I'm out here every day talking to the people. I'm a man of the people, with the people, finding out what their needs are and what they're upset about. And I'm going to go, when I go on my tour here pretty soon in my tour bus, I'm going to be touring North Dakota, talking to the farmers. I'm going to write down what the farmers want and what the people need, what the farmers need, Not only the farmers, all the citizens. I'm going to talk to businesses. I'm going to go on a tour, and I'm going to write down in my notebook everything everybody needs in North Dakota, and that's what I'm going to give people, what they want. And if they say, well, could you look into things and give us what we need, not what we want, I'll give you what you need. What you want and what you need, and if you're not decided, I'll look out for your best interest. And I won't just do what the big Republican corporation in North Dakota has been doing for the last, 100 years or so. They voted for LBJ, Lyndon Baines Johnson, after Kennedy was assassinated. That's the last time they actually voted Democratic. So that's been, about 60 years or so right now in North Dakota. So I'm trying to do the right thing. I'm trying to at least get a little bit of a representation here in the United States Senate by running as your senator of North Dakota. You got to think of when North Dakota was really doing well and thriving. Waiting for this big dump truck to drive by. When North Dakota was doing well and thriving, we had gentlemen like Ken Conrad, Earl Pomeroy, Byron Dorgan doing all of our good work up here in North Dakota and also Washington, D.C. They were taking care of the state. They brought a lot of opportunities here, and that's what I'm going to continue to do is bring opportunity here in North Dakota. And I'm not just going to go around doing little photo ops and go hide back in my office and go to sleep like some of these crooked politicians are doing. These Republicans that don't give a shit about me or you. All they care about is their health insurance and their paycheck. I care about the American people. That's why I'm running for United States Senate, And if I got to get up there when I'm elected and filibuster, I'm going to filibuster. I'm going to bring home the bacon in North Dakota. I'm going to give the people what they want, but I'm also going to create opportunities. As I've said many, many times, I'm going to create more opportunities, and I'm also going to have a complaint department to get rid of any corruption in North Dakota. I'm going to stop this political corruption, The people are good that, we got a workers' compensation system that says that there's 1% fraud in North Dakota, and it's got about $1.8 billion in its general fund, and they're sitting there saying, well, we need more in the fund because we don't want any workforce injuries in North Dakota. Well, you know why they got $1.8 billion in there and there's only 1% fraud? Because they're not helping the workers. They get a kickback. The employers here get a 60% kickback for all the money if there's no injuries throughout the year. They get a tax deferment and they get a kickback 60%, while the state of North Dakota gets 40% for every employee they have. And also there's 38 deaths in North Dakota from people dying on the job here that you don't hear about. You don't know that, do you? You don't hear about that on the news, and the families aren't being compensated. If they got $1.8 billion in their trust fund, one of the most solvent workers' comp trust funds in the country, that's telling me they're not helping the workers, and the money's not going out. It's going to their administration costs and their administrators and their bonuses. A while back, Earl Pomeroy he actually went in and audited and had all these people's salaries from workers' comp in North Dakota in the Fargo form, and some of these people were making $2, $3, $4, $5, $6 million working for it used to be a trust fund, nonprofit trust fund for injured workers in North Dakota that become now an insurance corporation in North Dakota for profit that says it's not aligned with the government, but the government makes you, if you're a business, have workers' comp insurance, and they won't let you go to any other companies to negotiate with. So, but then again, they say that North Dakota workers' comp isn't part of the government. It's an entity in and of itself, which has been full of corruption for years. I used to belong to the North Dakota Injured Workers Support Group, so I've talked to former Senator Long, who worked here, 12-year employee of the North Dakota Workers' Compensation Unit, who brought about who came to one of our meetings and talked about all the corruption going on there. They've been under investigation for years by the FBI, and what workers' compensation organization in the world goes out and hires 200 lawyers to figure out ways to deny the injured workers their rights here in North Dakota. So they hired lawyers to legally figure out ways to deny injured workers. Oh, and North Dakota Workers' Comp also got in trouble for telling doctors in North Dakota to cook the books and say that certain people, they weren't injured seriously on the job, that it was all in their head. They had mental problems, and these doctors got together and they turned it over to the federal government, to the FBI. So, I mean, you can no longer tell these doctors what to do, because there are doctors that have ethics that will stand up to this corruption here in this workers' comp. That's one thing that's pissed me off and caused me a lot of grief, because I've been against this compensation program. I say we should give this back to the workers, eliminate it from being a for-profit insurance corporation, make it go back to a non-profit trust fund for the injured workers, and not for a corporate government slush fund. Nobody knows what they're doing with this money. Well, they did get caught a few times using this money for purposes that wasn't for workforce safety, which is all this. It's all a bunch of bullshit, because what they're doing, they're saying that they're using this money to prevent injuries and do all this. Well, all these small businesses that go to try to get money, they won't give it to them, but they'll give it to these gigantic, huge companies. They'll get money. They'll get all this money for their companies, but these little companies can't get a penny out of this fund. So, but like I say, it's all a bunch of bullshit. And then basically they're paying out some of these workers that are in the know a little bit of money out of the interest, out of the $1.8 billion they have in their trust fund. So what we got to do is we got to get in there, and we got to get some people in there to change that program and get a little more federal oversight. Get someone in there that gives a shit, that's just not going to walk away and get the bullshit, So I'm the guy to do the job. I've been fighting for years for the people. This isn't about me. This is about the people of North Dakota. I fought for my life. I had cancer. I was sick for 10 years with cancer, but I've been fighting and battling that for a long time right now, and I'm doing the best that I can to stay alive, but I'm in remission right now. And I told myself, if I go into remission, I'm gonna run for United States Senate in North Dakota, because I'm tired of the bull crap. I'm tired of the corruption. I'm tired of judges trying to take away our Affordable Care Act, And then there's students, like I say, that need to go to college. They want to go, let them go. Let's pay for it. Not everybody wants to go to college, but if somebody's they can cut the mustard, and they can pass the test, and they can thrive in college, let's pay for it. Let's give it to them. Like Bernie Sanders wanted to give everybody free college. I'm for that. I'm with Bernie on that. Why not? We spend trillions of dollars every year helping foreign countries' military. We have foreign military spending. We give these countries millions of dollars of our money. We give the Saudis, we even give Iran, we give the Palestinians a little bit of money. We give the Israelis billions of dollars. We give all these countries big money to help their people to have college education, to have strong militaries. Why don't we help our people? What's wrong with helping our own people? What happened? What happened? Why did our government decide not to help our people? We could give our people free college. I know we could.
just by making a few budget cuts here and there, and we could give everybody medical insurance. You know, most industrialized nations in the world have free health care for their citizens, and they also have free college. Why can't we have that? And like I say, not everybody's going to rush out to go to college right now, because a lot of people don't want to go to college. They prefer to work. Let those that prefer to work, but give them good jobs where they have a quality of life, where they have a living wage. See, there's things such as working, but there's things also called a living wage. If these people don't have a living wage, then why work? You know, most people working in minimum wage, 40 hours a week, according to the government's own actuaries, are going $8,000 in debt right now. That's how bad it is. You know, what do we spend? 4 cents to make a penny? You know, I mean, where's the fiscal responsibility here? I think we need some fiscal responsibility. We could stop government waste and duplicity by doing the right things for America. If we have American citizens that are healthy and happy, you know, this country can blossom again like it did in the old days, you know. Let's make America smart again, you know. Let's make America green. We got a lot of people out there that have green ideas, but our great Trumpo, the dumpster there, Trumpster the dumpster, he decided, Humpty Trumpty, to quit going to pull us out of the Paris Accords there, where we could have had green energy. And I had friends that are probably going to lose millions of dollars that were ready to go over there and get some green energy going around globally, some big billions of dollars in business for green energy that would help the economy. You know, Trump's EPA people that he put in, they want to continue to, they made asbestos legal again. Now he's selling asbestos to his Russian counterparts, you know. I mean, why don't the American people wake up? Look what they're doing in France. They're having a revolution in the streets like they did. And you know what happens, people? In the last revolution, who did we follow? Who's the French? The French started the French Revolution, then we had a revolution. So we kind of followed the great Montesquieu and Robespierre, all those great revolutionaries of the country. It could trickle into America if France continues to stay upset. It could happen here. But hopefully the people, I don't want to see another war. I don't want to see our children suffer. But what I do want is I want to keep this Affordable Care Act going, also known as the Obamacare Act. You know, there's many ideas, but I can't implement any of my ideas unless you hire me and get me as your representative in the Senate of North Dakota. And I'm ready for the job. I've worked my whole life. Since I was 2 years old, I've been planning this. I was sick for a while with cancer, so I had to slow down a little bit, but I'm feeling good now and I'm ready to go, and I need all your help. And attention all Democrats out there, please donate to my campaign. That's Michael J. Steele for Senate 2022. You can go and you can donate on many of my fundraiser pages. I have Act Blue. I have many GoFundMe. The Act Blue's been really good. They're fair, and I really like the job they do. So my preference for my donations would be go to the Act Blue. But I do need your support, and we have to get ready, and we have to get a hold of this judge, and we have to send him letters, and we have to stop him because he's threatening our lives, 138 million Americans. He's threatening our health care. Once we let him do that to us, what are they going to do next? Try to take away our Social Security, our Medicare? What are they trying to do? You know, this is... the Republicans just want to have everything. It's not going to work that way. That's not, we live in a democratic republic, a mixed market economy. It's not going to work. And also, I think we need some fiscal responsibility. You know, this fiat money that we have and these petrodollars are making it a little harder too. I think we could get some people in government that'll be a little more responsible and really watch inflation. See, we don't want to put money into the economy right now because that creates inflation. You know, when you take money out of the economy, prices go down because then there's a limited supply of the petrodollar, or the fiat dollar we have right now. Basically, our money's, they're trying to back it off on the, back it by the petrodollar. We're backing it in oil. Instead of gold or silver. to say as we're going that way to a degree. We work with the petrodollar, so we don't back it on gold or silver. We back it on "In God We Trust," but they're saying we're backing it somewhat on the petrodollar. So this fiat money is we're printing more money, but military, we also have military might. That is, and military might we trust too. So no great nation other than Rome has lasted more than 600 years with fiat currency, which is basically currency that's not backed on gold or silver or any commodity. We do have it linked supposedly to the we have the petrodollar, which they have to pay U.S. currency to get. When you buy oil, you have to buy it in American currency, which is something where we have the reserve currency of the world supposedly, but you got to look out. The Chinese is coming along pretty good right now, and also the people from India, their currency is starting to make a little powerful move. So, every great nation has its downfalls, but if we're like Rome, we might have another 300 years we can do our fiat currency. They went the longest out of anybody. China didn't last long at all. They tried the fiat a couple times. France tried it once or twice. That's basically backing your economy on paper. So we're doing ours in military, and God we trust, and I love our military. I support our military. I don't support war, and I'd like to thank our leaders in the Senate and the House that decided to pull out of Yemen right now and stop backing the Saudis, where all these little children over in Yemen are dying by the millions and starving to death. So that's a good thing to do at Christmas, is stop this bloodshed and stop helping these bastards killing children and hurting our most innocent and vulnerable in the world. These are human lives, human beings, and people need to have more compassion. We're the country that goes in and stops these brutal dictators, and I do commend America for that, and our soldiers do that. And I'm with the military, but I also know that some of our military leaders, well, not really our leaders, probably our government more or less, they send our troops into harm's way, and I think sometimes we can use more diplomacy and use war as the last resort. But I do appreciate our military for going in and stopping the brutality that's going around in the world, because I guess we are the only ones that have the military superiority to do what we do. And we spend more money than any other country on our military. So I guess it's money well spent at times, but there's times where we've wasted a lot of money. They were claiming during the Bush administration, George Bush, it took from Washington up till George Bush to spend $1 trillion. And George Bush and his son, they spent, the first Bush spent $1 trillion over in Iraq. And he spent that in 4 years. It took Washington, from the time of Washington until now, we spent that on our military. And then the son did the same thing, spent another $1 trillion. And now Trump just spent more money than anybody in history lately to create a bigger deficit. What are we, 1.8 trillion more dollars we had, so we got about a $24 trillion debt we owe right now in America. And I was looking back at our debt figures back in the 1980s. We owed maybe $2.5 trillion, and now we're up to $24 trillion. I mean, this is just ridiculous. And the last one to balance our budget was Bill Clinton, which everybody knows that pretty much if you're an historian. But we have to really monitor our fiat money. We have to monitor our interest rates right now. When we put, like I say, when we put money into the system, inflation, food goes up, everything goes up. So sometimes by not putting money into the system is good, and those businesses that are making the right decisions and choices will be the winners, and those that make I'd like to thank you today. I don't know. So, Affordable Care Act is an entitlement. All these aren't entitlements. People worked hard their whole lives to pay into Social Security. It's our money. It's the people's money. It's not entitlements. This Affordable Care Act is something that our people deserve. So, I would like to thank you again for joining in, and I hope you have a Merry Christmas if I don't get on line again here for a while. But thank you once again. I am Michael J. Steele, the People's Choice. Michael, the real deal Steele, running for United States Senate of 2022 in Fargo, North Dakota, for the state of North Dakota, but also I'm racing. I'm starting early because I have to fight a multi-million-dollar machine here in Bismarck in North Dakota. So I'm trying to raise money now. I'm starting at a grassroots level with nothing, just my brain, and which is good, I hope, and a few friends and that are saying, hey, we got to fight, so let's keep the brain going and keep the fight going and keep everybody involved in the political sphere here, and let's stop all this corruption as fast as we can. We have to fight now or before it's too late. So that's all I'm saying. Please help me to help you before it's too late. So please donate to me. I do need your donations. It's urgent that I need it. I have to get on my bus. I have to visit many people on my tour bus. I have to travel throughout North Dakota. I have to travel to Washington, D.C. So my mission has just begun. So here I am I'll be a senator at 53 once I'm elected. So I got some life still in me, some lifeblood. So let's use me up while we can before I transpire. So thank you once again. This is Michael J. Steele. Michael, the real deal Steele, your choice, the people's choice for United States Senate of North Dakota in 2022. And God bless America and everyone out there. Have a wonderful, wonderful Christmas and happy holidays to those of our brothers and sisters that don't celebrate Christmas. Thank you once again.